All right, well, Chuck Leavell, how's it been going with you these days in the world of music? You've been working hard?
Yes, sir. I just came from a rehearsal today in Athens, Georgia, with our band, the Randall Bramlett Band, that's going to be backing me up on several shows this month. Had a great rehearsal and looking forward to our upcoming shows.
Now, I checked out your discography. It's really incredible. Do you have everything marked? Like, do you know each record you ever did? Or is it like in still search mode?
No, I can never off the top of my head remember all the records I've ever played on, but I can just say that it's been great opportunities for me, wonderful career, fun, and working with a lot of different artists from all kinds of different genres and backgrounds, and I just feel like I've been blessed.
Because on your website, I see there's a list, of your discography. Is that the complete discography?
Probably not. We put that list together starting several years ago, and since then I've had a lot of recordings that probably are not posted on that. So I do need to update it. I've done some work recently with artists like Montgomery Gentry Band. They're a really great country duo, and a fellow named David Nail that has some songs that is getting airplay on country radio as well. Young lady named Heidi Newfield that we just did a single on about 3 months ago. So yeah, man, I need to go back and that thing, but hey, there's only 24 hours in a day.
Now, do you need more time in a day to make your life, work? Because I'm sure you're a super busy guy with all the stuff you're doing.
Well, I think time is what you make it, and I do have some other interests. As you know, I'm an environmentalist. I'm a tree farmer. I enjoy writing some books, and of course, I have a deep, abiding love and passion for my family, so I like to spend as much time with my family as I can. And I love working on our property, Charlene Plantation. So, I try to keep things as balanced as possible so that I can enjoy all of those things.
Now, Chuck, for your book writing, how long do you take into writing these books? Does it take a long time, like a year?
Each project is different. My children's book did not take that long, but the autobiography took probably 9 months or so. My first book, which is called Forever Green, The History and Hope of the American Forest, probably took about 6 months. But the one that I'm working on now, which is a book about smart growth, about sustainable smart growth, has taken me a year to this point, and I'm still not as far along as I would like to be. So every project is a little bit different.
What would be the hardest song you ever tried to recreate live?
The hardest song to recreate live? Oh, my goodness. Well, fortunately, I haven't had a lot of difficulty in recreating any of them. I think the quality of the musicians that you're working with have a lot to do with that. I would say perhaps I found myself in situations maybe jamming with a band that says they know a song that I played on record, and you say, okay, well, let's go for it then, boys, and maybe they're not quite up to speed. So those are the situations you find yourself in that you wish they could be a little bit better. But fortunately, professionally, the groups that I work with are top-notch musicians, and all the live stuff turns out being created quite well, even better than the record sometimes.
Yeah, with the big stages, life has really changed on tours. How is it on touring, let's say, with the Rolling Stones, the schedule?
Well, of course, the Stones are so much fun to work with. They're the Stones. I mean, what can you say? The travel is sometimes wearing on you, but we travel in very comfortable situations, and we're very well looked after. So, and these days we only average maybe 3 shows a week, so it's not like you're working every night. And if you look after yourself, it's not grueling. It's really quite comfortable.
I read too that you're classified like the unofficial musical director for Rolling Stones. Now, this means you make up the playlist of the night. How do you decide what songs you're going to be playing?
Well, yeah, I have sort of morphed into that role of doing the set lists, and I think Mick maybe recognized that I've done that before for a number of different bands, for my own bands, and even going back to the Allman Brothers Band, I would be included in the decision-making about the set list. And I think Mick realizes that I have sort of a unique perspective on the Stones, especially because, hey, I was a fan of the bands long before I ever joined the band. So I think I have a pretty good handle on what most fans would like to hear. And I try to also balance the set so that it has a nice flow to it. And, in a certain point in time, maybe somewhere along the Steel Wheels tour, which would have been back in 1989, he recognized that we worked well together on those kinds of plans, and so he said, hey, I'll turn it over to you. You write it up. If there's something I see I don't like, I'll let you know. And that's kind of the way it works.
You joined Rolling Stones really in the period that they're changing, the reinvention of, with the MTV era. How was the recording session, for Undercover at that time?
Well, they were very long sessions. We were working in Paris, and we would work from starting around 10 o'clock at night, work all the way through the night, and usually finish up 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And so that was kind of tough on me. I don't really prefer those kinds of hours, but that's what we were doing. And this day and time, it's not like that at all when we record. A little bit more civilized. We may start in the afternoon, say 1 o'clock, and work through dinner time or maybe a little bit past, and then leave it for the next day. So, during that era, the Undercover era, and also the CD Dirty Work, they were very similar in nature, working very long hours, very late at night.
Was it relaxed situations in the studio?
Well, sometimes it's relaxed and sometimes it's tense. I think that's true of just about any band or artist you work with. And that's a healthy thing. Tension can be a healthy thing. It kind of helps to find a comfort zone sometimes. If the tension is there and maybe somebody's not happy with the way a song is being done or the direction the song is going, then it's good to speak up and say, hey, man, I don't like this, and you're going to have a discussion about it, and you're going to usually try some different approaches, and eventually you'll find something that does work. So, trial and error, man. That's the way it goes.
Now, for Eric Clapton, you played on his big albums from the 90s. Are you still in touch with Eric Clapton today?
You know what? That's a great question. I just saw Eric about a month ago. I was coming back from Washington, D.C., where I had some meetings concerning environmental and forest issues, and Eric was playing in the Atlanta area, and so I said, you know what, I'm going to pop in and see if I can have a word with him, and I got there before the show. He was gracious enough to come out and speak to me, and we had a great private meeting for probably 20 or 30 minutes. I stayed for about half the show, and of course he did a wonderful job, and it was fantastic to see him again. Eric's a marvelous artist, and so our friendship still endures.
And another great guy you played with was George Harrison. How was it being on the stage with a Beatles member, the great George Harrison?
George was an amazing artist and an amazing human being. I mean, yeah, he's a Beatle, isn't he? And, I guess growing up listening to the Beatles, we all had our favorite member of the band, and George was always mine. I don't know why, but I always gravitated to him. I loved his guitar work. I loved his songs. And, of course, when All Things Must Pass came out, and even way before that, he did an instrumental record. I think he was the first Beatles to actually do a solo record. It's called Wonderwall. Really interesting little records. So, I followed his work all through the career, never dreaming that I would get an opportunity to play with him. But not only was he such a great musician, a great singer and songwriter, but he was also a great humanitarian, the first guy to put together a benefit concert on a huge scale to help people, and of course that was the concert for Bangladesh. And the time that I spent with him, you could tell so easily and so well that he had a great love of humanity and a big heart, and he was just a wonderful guy.
With all your years of playing, like let's say you play a concert, do you keep like memories of these concerts? Do you keep memories of, let's say, the demos you do at the recording sessions? Do you keep a catalog of this stuff?
Well, not always. I mean, I suppose if we're working on songs for the first time and you're experimenting with the arrangements and you want to reference those thoughts and ideas, then yes, you're going to go back and listen to some of those demos and see how the song is progressing. I can tell you this, that usually after I've done a recording session with any band, any artist, I'm not so keen to go back and listen to it again. I mean, you listen through it during the process when you're recording it and making the record, and then I kind of feel like, hey, we did it, it's finished. I don't really want to just go back to it over and over again. Some people are different that way. Keith, for instance, loves to listen to the records over and over again, but I don't know, I'm just not like that. If I walk into a room and somebody's playing a song that I've worked on, that's fine. I'm not going to say, hey, play that. But nor would I choose to go find a record that I worked on and put it on myself at home and listen to it time and time again. So I just like to move forward. I guess that's my philosophy.
You got a lot of stuff going on for this summer and the rest of this year?
Well, the Stones have been of 07, so that's a little over 2.5 years now. And I have been working on various other projects, doing some recording sessions. I'm starting a new CD, so I'll be working on that through the summer. I do have a few scattered shows that I mentioned before, so I try to keep something booked about every, once or twice a month or once every couple of months. But there's no hectic schedule right now. I've not heard any definite word from the Rolling Stones, but I will say that the year 2012 is an interesting year because it marks the 50th anniversary of the Rolling Stones. And I have to believe they would like to celebrate that if everybody stays healthy. I don't know, maybe you could even start something next year, but I'm not privileged to those decisions. That's totally up to Nick and Keith and Charlie and Ronnie. So I think we'll all have to wait and see what they want to do.
Well, Chuck, you've been a great spirit, and I wish you only the super best and success. It was a great interview, and you're a great man.
Thank you so much, Jason. Enjoyed talking to you. All right, thanks a lot, Jason.
All right,
Take
bye-bye.
care.